Welcome to the weekly shir of the Zera Shimshon. It's Zayin. It's Hashem, the 22nd day of the Omer, and it's Erev Shabbos Kodesh, and I'm going to make this short and sweet so everybody can have a wonderful Shabbos. Okay, I'm getting excited. A lot of kids are dragging wood to their pyres, which tower usually 2 to 3 stories, and getting ready for Lag BaOmer. It's very interesting to see how kids, I don't know where even they find the wood, but they find it anywhere. All right, anyway, this is a piece of Zera Shimshon, Parshas Kedoshim. It says, V'yisim li Kedoshim ki Kodesh ani Hashem, ba'avdil eschem en ha'ameim. Li'yos li, okay, it's a pasuk Chav, pasuk Chav Vav. You shall be holy for me, for I Hashem am holy, and I have separated you from the peoples to be mine. Now, the Midrash in Torah's Kahanim says that if you separate yourself from the nations, you will be mine. And if not, you will end up under the dominion of Nebuchadnezzar and his cronies. Okay, now we know there's no Nebuchadnezzar anymore, but so what does that mean? What is this Midrash coming to teach us? Isn't it obvious that we will become like the nations if we don't separate ourselves from them and their way of life, which is obvious today? You know, you could tell any problematic child has adopted some of the ways of the Gaon. Okay, that's just, and this has happened over and over and over and over and over again. Okay, it happened in Europe, it happened in Spain, it happened in Morocco, it happened, you name it. We always went through this, that we adapted. As soon as we adapt the ways of the non-Jews and start imitating them, there goes Yiddishkeit. Okay, Zera Shimshon explains that by quoting the Mekubalim regarding the pasuk here, her adversaries have become her master. It's in pasuk at Eicha 1:5. Okay, Chazal comment that anyone who challenges Klal Yisrael attains a position of leadership. It's before Gemara in Gittin 56b, which is in Perga Nezakim, which is that's the one we read on. We're allowed to read on Tisha B'Av of all times. The question is why. The truth is, said Zera Shimshon, it would have been fitting for Bnei Yisrael to be completely entrenched in holiness, which is the way it is anytime we'll do the will of Hashem. The problems begin when we sin, at which point the Kedusha leaves us and is replaced by impurity, which takes a firm hold. But even when Bnei Israel are not acting properly, there are always some mitzvahs that they do, which ensures that there will always be a spark of holiness within them no matter what. However, that spark, that nitzutz, it's called a spark of holiness, that then gets angry at the Jew in which it resides, because the Jew in which the spark lives has caused the spark to be cut off from the root of holiness, forcing it to live with impurity instead of holiness that's the spark craves. Okay, and the fact is that, says Zera Shimshon, that all the nations' kings contain some spark of Kedusha within them as well. Interesting, right? And because this is the case, we recite a blessing upon seeing them, that he has given his honor to flesh and blood. It's a special bracha. We find an example of this with regard to Esav, because he possessed the spark of holiness. His head could be buried in Ma'ar Samach. That's a Targum Yonasan and Breshis. In addition to ensuring that Esav's head would have a special place to rest for all eternity, the spark he possessed evoked his father Yitzchak's love for him and caused him to think and hope that Esav would eventually come to do tshuva. The upshot is this: when Bnei Yisrael sins, the spark of Kedusha inside us, feeling isolated and cut off from its sources, seeks to cleave to the spark of holiness belonging to the non-Jewish king of the surrounding non-Jewish nation. This in turn grants the non-Jewish nation power against the Jewish people, since the spark is angry at the Jew who caused it to be uprooted from its roots. If people understood this one nikuda, they would never be attracted to non-Jewish things. That's it. They give their spark over to, and it powers the non-Jews. Okay. This then is what the Gemara means that when it says anyone who challenges Klal Yisrael attains a position of leadership. The non-Jewish king receives power to vanquish the Yidden through his internal spark, which calls and beckons to other lonely sparks. This is the depth of what the Midrash is saying with the words, if you separate yourselves from the nations, you will be mine. Since you, Bnei Yisrael, will always do at least some mitzvahs, you will always have some sparks of Kedusha entrenched within you. On the other hand, if you're not, you will end up under the dominion of Nebuchadnezzar and his cronies. Since you didn't separate yourselves completely from those around you, and you have sinned, the solitary sparks of holiness that live inside you will eventually seek out other sparks and go to join those within the enemy, granting their leaders power to subjugate and control us. That's from the Zera Shimshon, Parshas Kedoshim, Ois Zayin. Anyway, everyone have a wonderful Shabbos and a beautiful, beautiful ER. Ani Hashem Reifecho. Aleph Yud Reish. Kol Tuv.